North Korea is one of the most isolated and repressive countries in the world. The government controls every aspect of its citizens' lives, and there is no freedom of speech or movement. For many North Koreans, the only way to escape is to flee to China. But this is a dangerous journey, and many people are caught and sent back to North Korea, where they face severe punishment. Despite the risks, thousands of North Koreans have escaped to China every year. The journey from North Korea to China is long and dangerous. North Koreans often have to travel through forests and mountains, and they must avoid the authorities at all costs. Once they reach China, North Koreans must find a way to stay hidden. They are often afraid to seek help from the Chinese government because they fear being sent back to North Korea. North Koreans who escape to China face many challenges. They often have to work illegally to support themselves, and they are at risk of being exploited by criminals. They also have to deal with the psychological trauma of escaping from North Korea. Many North Koreans have experienced severe hardship and abuse in their home country, and they need time to heal and adjust to their new life in China. Despite the challenges, many North Koreans who escape to China are able to build new lives for themselves. Some North Koreans even choose to return to North Korea to help others escape. They know the risks involved, but they believe that it is their duty to help their fellow countrymen and women. Here are a few examples of the many stories of North Koreans who have escaped to China. Jang Jin-sung. Jang Jin-sung, a North Korean diplomat, defected to South Korea in 2012 and wrote a book about his experiences. In his book, Jang describes the brutality of the North Korean regime and the challenges of escaping. Jang worked as a translator for the North Korean government, and he had a front-row seat to the regime's corruption and brutality. He witnessed the torture and execution of political prisoners, and he was forced to participate in propaganda campaigns that lied to the North Korean people about the outside world. Jang became disillusioned with the North Korean regime and decided to defect. He escaped to China in 2012 and eventually made his way to South Korea. In his book, Jang describes the challenges of escaping from North Korea, including the need to avoid the North Korean authorities and the Chinese police. Shin Dong-hyuk. Shin Dong-hyuk was born in Camp 14, a North Korean prison camp where his parents were also imprisoned. He never knew freedom, and he was forced to work in the camp's mines and factories from a young age. In 2005, Shin managed to escape from the camp and flee to China. He lived in hiding for several years before finally making his way to South Korea in 2012. In his book, Escape from Camp 14, Shin describes the horrors of life in the camp, including the torture, starvation, and executions that he witnessed. He also describes the challenges of adjusting to life in the free world after having spent his entire life in a prison camp. Shin's story is a harrowing and inspiring account of survival and resilience. Park Yeon-mi. Park Yeon-mi escaped from North Korea with her mother in 2007. She was 13 years old at the time. They traveled through China for months, hiding from the authorities and working odd jobs to survive. In her book, In Order to Live, Park describes the poverty and hunger she experienced in North Korea. She writes about seeing people die from starvation and malnutrition. She also writes about the constant fear of being caught by the authorities and sent back to North Korea, where she would have faced severe punishment. Park and her mother eventually made it to South Korea. Park has since become a human rights activist and a vocal critic of the North Korean regime. She has spoken about her experiences at schools, universities, and conferences around the world. Park's story is a harrowing but inspiring one. These stories are also a reminder of the importance of human rights and the need to hold the North Korean regime accountable for its crimes against humanity. Thank you for watching this video.